I'm never going to help you.
Why me? I'm not asking you to help me.
I'm not a ghost anymore. I'll do it. Not for you. For her. This town has become a jungle. Where not even the rats are safe. Those who swore to protect us fight to steal the last scraps of dignity we have left. And those who should judge them prefer to squabble over their prey. But it wasn't always like this. The Santa Esperanza I was born in was a clean town. A place where it meant something to be a cop. My life, got my feet back on the ground. But now he's back, and he's dragged me in. I'm gonna need help. Ness.
Elliot, I found Carlo Boccarini.
I knew you would, Alice.
Write this down. 31 Wicker Avenue in Lakeview.
Thanks. Nice work.
Elliot, what do you want with him? He's got a hell of a file.
I think he's mixed up in a kidnapping, but my client doesn't want the police involved.
What are you getting yourself into? Who's your client?
Alice, I don't have much time. I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks. Tomorrow's going to be a long, long day. "31 Wicker Avenue. This is it."
You sure?
I'm sure.
At last. That stench of stale grease about you reminds me too much of my old job.
I smell of grease?
Yeah, I don't think anyone else would notice. But when you spend a part of your sentence as a chef in the kitchens on Gore Island, you smell it a mile away. And how do you think I met Alphonse? Playing golf?
Alphonse?
On the subject of cooking, I know your blueberry pie had an extra something. I still don't know what.
Alphonse?
So what now? You got a plan?
Take a look around, in case there's a rear exit. I'll take the main door.
My pleasure.
The fact that a criminal like him can hang up his shingle in broad daylight says a lot about Santa Esperanza. Interesting taste. Been centuries since a gardener visited this house. Maybe Boccarini's business isn't going too well. The bell doesn't work. I guess Boccarini doesn't get many visitors. Boccarini? Carlo Boccarini?
Nothing of interest out back. Sorry. You better come see this, Mr. Ness.
What is it?
I don't know how to describe it. Is that our man?
Boccarini.
My God.
We have to find out who did this and why. Let's go.
You're the detective, Mr. Ness. Besides, Alfonso will want to see this. I'll be right back.
All right. I have to establish how Boccarini died. Maybe the body parts can shed some light on the motive. Holy Christ, what the hell are we up against? His teeth were all pulled out before he was killed. The buildup of blood inside his mouth speaks for itself. This isn't a cut, it's a tear. His hands were ripped off. Who has that kind of strength? Pity he won't last till Christmas, because he'd almost pass for a tree. There's no doubt the murderer took his time. His eyes were pulled clean out of their sockets. Whoever did this, it wasn't their first time. And if they committed any other murders like this, it's likely that the police found some of the bodies. I must remember to ask Alice. Once he got stuck in there, looks like the bottom of a glass. It's Boccarini, no doubt about that. Although the one I remember was more together. Boccarini's teeth were all pulled out. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccarini's. The murderer tore Boccarini's hands off. Hands ripped off, teeth torn out. I guess I'll have to rule out criminal intent or a personal angle. Boccarini's eyes still haven't shown up. What if I look for whatever was used to remove them? What looks like the bottom of a broken glass. Takes a strong man to tear that out. Or several. The lamp. Torn off. The blood comes from the other side of the corridor and ends next to the body. He was attacked in the other room and dragged to the hall. The evidence suggests that the events began in the lounge. How did Boccherini encounter his murderer? Whatever crushed the table must have been really heavy, or maybe it was thrown extremely hard. A perfectly circular dint, as if someone had tried to hammer in a gigantic bolt, around 4 inches in diameter. Fingernails scratched the wood. Blood ran like water. A broken table, scratched and covered in 2 pools of blood. The trail of blood from the The trail of blood from the 2 pools of blood. A broken table. The lamp, torn up. What looks like the bottom of a broken... What kind of person takes off a wristwatch without unfastening it? Or fastens the strap again after taking it off? Did it break during the struggle, or was it already broken? Blood. Blood everywhere. This was opened recently. Smells of whiskey. Glass on the floor indicates the window was broken from outside. There's something under there. How did it wind up under there? Not one round fired. It must have happened fast. What is it with Italians and olives? They lap those things up like caviar. Like a true bachelor, he should have put these into soak. Hours of scraping to get them clean. Although at this stage, I don't think Boccherini's too worried about that. 4 glasses. 2 of water, 2 of wine. I've always been a whiskey man, but I know a good wine when I see one. Leftover lasagna, and it looks good. Why is it that 2 out of 3 Italian gangsters are great cooks? I'll never understand what the deal is with them and cooking. The plates and the glasses leave no room for doubt. Boccherini had company for dinner. One knife's missing, the biggest one. Shut from the inside. A pistol, fully loaded. Pieces of glass from the window in the hall. found an open bottle of whiskey. I'd say Boccherini was drinking in the dining room when his assailant burst in through the window. Boccherini pulled his gun, but the murderer disarmed him before he could shoot. Where did the torture begin? A broken table, scratched and covered in blood. 2 pools of blood, one on either broken whiskey glass. Found a blood-stained wristwatch with the bloodstains show that the murderer began to torture Boccherini on the dining table itself. That was where his hands were torn off. As a result, his wristwatch fell to the ground. How did the body reach its current position? Jammed shut from the inside. Maybe between the 2 of us when Milton gets back. If I'm not mistaken, this door opens onto the same room as the locked door in the kitchen. Oh, shit. I should have stayed in my diner. These teeth from the body? Well, at least I know why his teeth were pulled out, more or less. What is that? Looks like a ritual. What was Boccherini mixed up in? This car looks too classy for a forger like Boccherini. Are there sufficient reasons to believe that when the murderer attacked Boccherini, there was someone else in the house? The first possibility to be ruled out is that the car belonged to Boccherini. The lamp, torn off its bright, dirty plates, glasses, a broken whiskey glass. The trail of blood from the dining room to the Boccherini, already minus hands, was dragged into the hall, where the murderer used the brackets of the lamp to complete his macabre diorama. Dirty plates, glasses, a broken whiskey glass. What looks like the bottom. A door in the kitchen. A door in the corridor. It opens onto the same room as the locked door in the kitchen. A broken whiskey glass. What looks like the bottom of a door in the kitchen. It opens onto the same room as the jammed door in the corridor. Vermont plates. Someone drove a long way. A car with Vermont plate. Let's take a look in the glove compartment. Bingo. A man's cigarette case. OB. One of the Boccherini clan? The initials OB on a cigarette. 1. It has Vermont plates. 2. It's too luxurious for a criminal of his standing. 3. The initials on the cigarette case don't match his name. The next possibility that needs to be ruled out is that the car was stolen. There should be evidence that there was someone else in the house. Dirty plates, glasses, and silverware. The dirty dishes and glasses prove that Boccherini ate lasagna with one other person. Was Boccherini's guest still in the house when the murderer showed up? A sick altar of Boccherini's eyes still haven't shown up. What if I look for whatever was used to remove them? A door in the kitchen. A door in the corridor. It opened. Blood and some kind of sticky liquid. A teaspoon stained with blood and some mixture of sticky liquid and blood can only mean one thing. The spoon was used to remove Boccherini's eyes. The mutilations and the disappearance of his eyes suggest two possible motives: psychopathy or cultist fanaticism. Which is it? A sick altar of human flesh, some kind of symbol drawn in blood, though I don't know the origin of the symbol in the bathroom.